Hey everybody, welcome. As I said, this is class number, or not class number, this is class for November 16th, 2019. This is a class that's been requested, so I'm redoing it in case someone wants to do something like this for their cards for kids or for family cards that you're going to send out. Any kind of card, actually, it would work with. So the first one we're going to do is this one right here that shows the word Noel, and I've sent to you some of these little images that we got from that Disney site that we talked about last time. So I'm going to type in first of all the word Noel over here by coming to the left and getting the text tool and coming here and typing in all caps Noel. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to make it much larger because I love to use the impact font when I'm filling things. So I'm going to come over to the text style panel and I'm going to change this to the one I frequently use, which is impact. And I'm going to make it really big so we can see what we're doing. Okay. After I've made that, and I'm going to go over here and open this panel because I can tell I already have a transparency on. All right, so we have the textile panel, or the fill panel open now. We'll just leave that open for right now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this one by holding down my Alt key and dragging one. Then I'm just going to make it larger by coming over here to the offset panel, and I'm going to offset this, an external offset, by 0.05. That's a size I like to use a lot. And I'm going to change its color to black. Okay, I'm going to drag this one off because I won't need it right now, and hopefully not at all. This one, whoops, I need to Control Z. I need to group this one first, group, and then I'm going to move this one off because I will be needing this one. All right. The next thing I'm going to do to make it look just like this one here is I'm going to take my Minnie Mouse. I've already imported these, or what is called merge. I came up here to File and then Merge, and I found the images one by one and brought them in. So I have little Minnie here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup my word Noel, and I'm going to take Minnie, and I'm also going to grab it all and say send to the back. Now I can bring Minnie up top and try to make her fit and see how she's going to look on that L. So to do this clearly, what I can do is bring over this fill panel, and I like to leave these panels out sometimes. And that's one of the settings over here in preferences if you like yours out because you use them a lot. But I'm going to change the transparency of Minnie once I click on her. I'm going to make her light so I can see through her to see what of the L is what part she's going to show. So in other words, I want all of her face in there. And so I need to make it a little smaller yet because I do like all of her face in there. That looks pretty good like that to me. So all I have to do now is I'm going to grab the L and Minnie and come over here. Don't need the offset panel, but I will be using the modify panel a lot. So I'm going to bring it over. And I'm going to just crop that. Okay, there's Minnie. And since I still have my fill panel open here, I can just change the transparency of it. And just so you can see what it's going to look like, let's right click on this to send this to the back and bring this up. And so far, this is what we have. Okay, you can see that up here in my sample. All right, now I'm going to move the black back out of here and we'll go on to Tigger. So I'm going to bring Tigger over and I'm going to resize him down, same thing. Going to put him in the E. So again, I'm going to stretch him out as best I can, and then I'm going to come over here to the fill panel again, which is over here if yours isn't open under this paint palette. I'm going to change his transparency like this, and you know, I think he fits on there really well like that. I think I get his personality and everything. So I'm going to grab him and the letter and say crop. So now we're done with two of them. So if you're curious what it's going to look like again, we can bring this over here like this. But of course, Tigger still has a transparency applied to him. So I'm going to back it back off like that, and we can see how it's going to look. Cute. And you know, it'd be fun if you knew somebody's name and you knew they loved different Disney characters, you could do their name and all the characters that they liked. Whoops, I got to hit Control Z, get that back. Here we go. All right, time for the O. Looks like I used these guys. Wasn't able to get all of them in there, but enough of them. So I'm going to resize them also, bring them over here to the O. And you know, if I do it like that, tiny, I can almost get everybody. Especially if I twirl it a little bit. Huh. Maybe I'll do it like that. I don't know though. I think I might like them bigger. So I'll just get some, I think. Twirl that back over. Maybe like that. And I'm going to make it a little bit transparent so I can see. Am I getting all of Winnie's face? Yes, and pretty much all that and that. The only guy I'm not getting totally up there is Piglet. And I think if I do it like that, actually I can get it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab both of those. And since my modify panel is still open, I'll say crop. All right, let's check that out now. Okay, that's looking cute. All right, the last one I have to do now is Winnie the Pooh. And I left him facing this way. I probably could have made him face the other way. Wonder how well he'll do if I right click on him and say flip horizontally. I might like him better like that, so he's facing the rest of the gang. Resize him down a little bit. And again, change his transparency so I can see just what I'm getting. Okay, I'm not crazy about this because I'm not getting all his face when I do it like this. Wonder if I make it larger. I don't like to have their faces cut up too much. I miss his nose. I have both of his eyes. That's okay there. I think I'll flip him back the way he was though. So flip horizontally back this way. And I think I like that better because I get better face on him. Okay, so I'm just going to grab both of those two things, come over here to my modify panel and crop. So this one's about done. I just have to highlight him and change his transparency. Change this one's transparency. And I can bring this back over and let's see how it's looking. It's looking really cute. If I wanted to, like I did in my first sample, I could take the red or the black right here and make an offset. Oops, and offset. And an external offset. And that's a pretty big offset. I could leave it large like that if I want to. What I probably did on my sample was made it 0.05, so I'll just do that again. And then I changed it to red, and it was just like that. So that's a sample of what you could do, and as I say, you could do any word at all. We might not want to do Noel if we're sending these to cards for kids because they prefer not to have too many Christmas ones. And you know, it could be winter, could be fun, could be hello, could be howdy, could be anything. So that's Noel, and I think it turned out really cute just like that. All right, so that one's this one. The next one was, let's see, I think I'll do this one next, Sending Our Love. All right, so what I did, I was pretending this was the front of the card and as if this were my family. So this could be Sending Our Love, and this could be, or from the Carusos, or you know, something, you know, more personal than Sending Our Love. But just to get the idea of how to do this, again, all you do is come over here to the text tool, type in the word love, all caps. And of course I changed it to impact, so I had a lot of space with which to work and to put in my images. By coming over here, frequently used impact, I made it a lot larger. Okay, the text I put up above it was Sending Our, and it wasn't all caps. Oops. Sending Our, and the font that I used for this one is one of the ones I like to use a lot, and it was Samantha Craft. So it should be a recently used, yep. And I didn't think that was big enough, so I made it bigger both ways. And I found if I moved this over, the G could dip right down in between the O and the L, and that fit good. All right, so the next thing I did was I just went ahead again and held my Alt key down and dragged another one of these away. And then I went over here to the Modify panel and I did an offset. And I made it 0.05. And I colored it black, just like that. So that I could get rid of this one, but I'll just hide it from myself just in case. And I need this, whoops, I always forget to do that. Control Z, grab this and group it. Then I can move this over. All right, so then I just imported all of these images. They're just images that I grabbed from Pixabay. And so I'll show you just again how easy it is to put these in here. So I'll start with the E with this couple right here, the mom and dad supposedly. And I'm going to send the word love to the back. Right click, send it back. Going to make this smaller and bring it up like this. That's probably too small though, because I don't like this space to hang out. You see the blue from the lettering? I like to try to make sure all of that is covered by something in my image. So I'm going to go ahead with the fill, which comes out of this little artist paint palette, and I'm going to change the transparency so I can see if I'm getting their heads well. I don't want to cut off anybody's head or eyes. Okay, that looks really good to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and that. Okay, but I did not ungroup my letters yet. Notice that. So I need to ungroup those letters. So I can just grab one letter at a time. And hopefully these are ungrouped. Yeah. Grab one letter at a time and come over here to the Modify panel, which is, as you know, it's over here. I've just left mine open, and I can say crop. And then since this is highlighted, I can change its transparency. Very good. And we can bring our lettering of love over. Where's the black one that I did? There it is. Just to see how it's going to look, I'll need to right click and send it to the back, and let's see. Okay, see how that's going to look? It's going to put a really nice outline on there. And if you were doing your family and sending Christmas cards or something like that, I think it would be really sweet. Okay, it's a little girl's picture. I just thought it was cute with her little skates. So I'll just bring her up here. And again, I want to make sure that it's large enough so that the whole letter is going to be covered with the background of this image. Now I need to come over to my fill and change my transparency. And I want to make sure that I have all of her face in there, which that looks really cute. And so now I can just grab her and the letter and again, Modify panel, which is already open, say crop. And then since she's still selected, I can change her transparency. Let's see how that's going to look. Quite nice. All right, now this little character here, let's make him a little smaller and bring him over here. Again, I'm going to change his transparency so I can see what's going to happen with him. Okay, he's a little bit scary because, you know, you don't want to cut off one of his eyes. So what you want to do is put him up high enough so that you have his eyes, both his eyes, most of his face, just like that. So now I can grab both of those and say crop. And again, since he's still selected, I can change his transparency back like that. Let's check it out. Super cute. Okay, last one. This is the other little boy. He's right here. Don't know if I need to make this smaller because he's pretty small. So let's just bring that over there and change the transparency. And actually might want to make him bigger. So his head's proportionate, sort of, if it'll fit. It's because I can make it where it still fits. That looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to grab him and that and say crop. And now with him still selected, I can change his transparency just like that and bring the word love up here. And we could even offset it if you'd like to. You know, you could do it like this to make it like a drop shadow when you do your print then cut, however you like it. And of course you can change the letter color of sending our to black if you'd like. And then let's see, the only other thing I should have done first before I did that, I should have grouped this group. I saw I moved that little guy in the green a little bit, so hopefully that won't mess it up. I could have undid, but I think it's okay. All right. So that's that. What I can do then again if I wanted to is I still could add another offset onto here, but I think it's good like that. So the only thing that I did then was I grouped all of this together. And just so I could get an idea of what it would look like on a card, I came over and got a rectangle and drew it. And I changed this color to white. And I right clicked and I said send to the back. Just like that. And then just for the heck of it, I put an offset on this. So I just clicked on the outer rectangle and said offset. And I could make any size offset I want. So I'll just do 0.05 just because. And I can change that to maybe red this time, a little red offset. Anyway, that's the second version of what we could do, and I'll just group this. And this, like I said, is if you're sending something to someone, you know, in the family, whatever, you want to have pictures for them. Or again, if you're doing it for some of the kids' cards, you can post pictures of anything you like in here that you think kids would like, and any text at all, of course. All right, the last one I was going to show you was this one called From Our Family, and it looks like this. So this is as if these are the two children in the family, and this is the mom and dad. And so I just said from our family to your family, and this could go on the front of a card, or, you know, just have any kind of text at all that you want. But to do this one, let me get rid of these panels for a minute so you can see me reopen them when I need them. Just brought in the 3 pictures that I needed. And the first thing I did was I went ahead and duplicated this by holding down the Alt and dragging one over. And then I, of course, modified this one to make it larger. So I offset, and I made it the small offset that I like, 0.05, enter. Then I changed its color, the offset's color, to black. Okay, so I'm going to move that one out of the way, don't need that. I will be needing this one in a little bit. And I went like this, grabbed the little rectangle, and I just came up here and started to draw a rectangle straight down. Okay, then I got buzzed way in so I could make sure that it wasn't going to be weird somehow. I wanted the lines to line up really well so there wouldn't be some weird cut. So that looks pretty good like that. I'm happy with that. Let's check and see what it looks like down here. Okay, that's perfect. So what I'm going to do now is just grab both of these things. I'm going to drag out my modify panel now again because I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to say subtract. So let's scroll out and you can see what I did. I just subtracted that right out of there. However, that's not what I did here. So let's undo that. Okay. And I can scroll back out. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make that quite as long. And so I'm just going to make it to maybe right about there, because that's what it looks like I had done before. And then I'm going to grab all this stuff and just say center like that. And now I'm going to grab both of these and say subtract. So now I have a little tiny space there. And now I'm going to draw my line straight across this way. So I'm going to get another rectangle, and I'll start, let's see, I'm just going to start dragging out a rectangle, and I'll just make it skinnier like this. So what I want to make sure that it does is it overlaps that other one nicely, and I can see that pretty easily. That looks good, just like that. So now I'm going to do is grab all of that stuff again and say subtract. So now I have my 3 pieces that I need, and I have my 3 images that I need. So all I have to do again is to take this image down here first, and I'm going to drag, oopsie, don't want to do that, Control Z. I'm going to hit the V on my keyboard, and I'm going to scroll this out. Once again, I want to make sure that my whole part of my heart is covered by them. And let's see how that's going to work right now. So what I need to do is I need to come up here to the paint palette, the fill panel. I'm going to drag that over here a little bit, and I'm going to change the transparency to see what we get. Okay, that's not bad, but I think I can make it look better if I pull it up like this and have more of them showing. And even their little horse there in the background, I think that's kind of cute. So now all I do is grab both of these things and come over here and say crop. And again, since they're still selected, I can change their transparency. And the only thing that looks weird to me is that I may have wanted to be a little bit higher, because you see down here where her sweater is, the white goes into the white, but I don't know that that will really matter when we take this to the back and we center it up like that. No, that'll be fine just like that. You see, it works out fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll get this little girl. I'm going to bring her over here. Obviously, she's going to need to be much bigger. And I'm going to go ahead then and make her transparent so I can see what's going on. And let's see. I remember I want the whole thing in there. So you see, I want that all the way up that high so that there's, well, let me show you what happens if I don't have the whole thing. Well, it'll just be a cut off right here that'll look weird. Watch. If I go like this and say crop, and then we make her so she's not transparent, and we bring this over here. You see what it does? So that's not the look I'm going for. So it could be a look you're going for some reason, but it's not the look I'm going for. So I'm going to move her up. Whoops, no, not like that. Just her. Move her up like this. So the background of her picture is covering the whole part of the heart. And then I can grab both of these and say crop. And then I can make her transparency lower. And now look what it's like. Isn't that better? I love that much better. So the last one I have to do is the little boy. So I'm going to bring him over here. We'll see how he looks in here. Might want to make him bigger because look, he's like a little puny guy here compared to the others. So I might want to make his head much larger so he more fits in with the fam. So he doesn't look like a little teeny guy. All right. So I'm going to make the transparency and maybe move him over a little bit like that. That looks good. So I'll just go ahead and grab this and say crop. Whoops. Undo. I didn't mean to grab her also. Crop. There we go. And then I can change his transparency so it's up like that. And then we're just about done with this. I can just bring this over here. And then if I wanted to, like I did on my sample, but I'm not real crazy about it, I could have put another offset on it and then put the words from our family to your family, or I could even just do a little saying right across here if I'd like to, you know, make that white, make it pop up, make it whatever I like. And or I could do the text, and you know how to do the text is you just go, I'll just type in the word family just so you can be refreshed. So for this one, what I do is I just pull it down here. So it could say like, you know, your family name or something. Remember, if I want it lifted off the heart, I just do like this. So maybe you want it to say Rice family. So I could say R-I-C-E or our family or something. Who knows? But that's all you have to do is trick it down here. Use the little zipper to make it go up above. And let's make this a capital F. Now you may be wondering, how am I going to get that off? Because, you know, this is on the, stuck to that, right? And you may not want it to be. And I think I had this one out further. But anyway, you would just play with these things and get them properly. But to get this one disconnected from the other, all you do is click on this, come up to Object, and Convert to Path. Do the same thing on this one, Object, Convert to Path, and then it's no longer stuck on anything. You can move it around however you'd like. So what I would do again is probably go ahead and color these, whatever color I was interested in using, and probably resize this so it would fit on the front of my card. And I just think that would be a really cute card to make also for somebody. You know, from our family to your family, or you know, more personalize it more than that if you'd like. But I think it'd be super cute. From our family to your family, you know, have a warm hugs this Christmas or something like that. Something cute. So let me stop this share. No, actually, I'm not going to. Right now, you know what I'm going to do? What time is it? Let's see. Okay, there's half an hour left. I'm going to give the time to Stephanie. So in a minute, as soon as I show you that thing I promised I was going to show. So yesterday, like I said, Tammy found something really fabulous. And okay, so many of us like the way it looks when they have the stitching on cards. And as we were just talking about, it's not cheap to buy all those little templates to make the stitching on cards. So in Tammy's explorations, she found something that May showed. Say, this is my card stock, obviously for my card. And you get a tablet. I didn't see a tablet. Just get something like an old notebook, because it adds a little bit of something that you could press into. Then all you need to do is get one of these things. You could get them online, you know, if you want it shipped to your house for free. I think Tammy's already done that, so she's going to have hers by tomorrow. And I think she has a link for it that we'll put down below. But anyway, just do Amazon with my link if you wouldn't mind. But here it is. It's just one of these things that you use for sewing. Then you need a ruler that's probably a little bit thicker if you have one. You probably have something that you can use. May suggested that you put something on the back. I don't remember what, but I'm thinking that temporary adhesive spray would work well. And the only reason why you need that, and let me cut this card up a little bit because it's too long. Okay. The only reason why you would need that is because you don't want your ruler to shift like this while you're doing this process. So all you have to do then to get your little thing that looks like it has the stitches is use this tool right here. And she suggested that you go up like this, adding quite a bit of pressure. Go over top of your thing. Do not pick up anything and just go straight back down. And voila, look at that. Instant stitches. Can you see those? Ooh la la. So, see on this side here, I can turn this like this. And again, now see, this is going to make some stitches into here. I guess I really achieved well by adding pressure, so I probably don't need to do that much. Now, something that May said, and she said it doesn't really bother her. If it does bother you, you may prefer buying the templates. But up here at the very top, when I start, it's going to overlap right here. You'll see what I'm saying in just a sec. As soon as I do this part, I'll show you it. I probably could try to get it to not overlap. First, I'll do it overlapping, and then I'll try not to. So I go up and then back. And you have to make sure that you're pressing this in towards here because you can have a tendency to go like this and make it wiggly move a little bit. All right, so here you can see maybe what I'm talking about. See how it overlaps?
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, it really looks good though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to try on this side over here to make it not overlap, just to see how hard that is to kind of see where you're trying to go. So let's see if I do this. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see, go up to here and back. Well, it's not perfect because I overlapped a little bit, but I guess with practice I could get better. But anyway, you can see how well we can do this now with our cards if you like that little stitching look. And these things, what do they cost? Like $5, something like that? I don't know. I didn't look it up because I've had mine for a million years from sewing. This one's a Singer brand, but I'm sure they all work the same.
They're you can get them $5 at Amazon, and they even have some for $2. I'm not sure how good the $2 one would work, but
Yeah.
Joann's would have them for sure because it's called a stitching tool.
Yes, that's where I got it, at Joann's, and where I got my original one. The only thing I'm wondering about, I wonder if you could do this like, what if you did this just one time, if it would work? I'm gonna try just kind of following this.
She followed apart. May did.
Without, I
Without.
need to go one time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So here's my little heart I had done before. Let's take this guy out and try, see if I can do a heart. May did it. Maybe do it. I can do it, maybe. She never did stop.
Move the paper. Okay. Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
There you go. That's what she did. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, but the only bad thing is I'm getting towards the edge of I'm getting toward the edge of this paper. Oh, and you don't want to, I'll show you. Look, I can't do it. Right here, that's where I twisted it like this, so I have to be careful not to twist it. Oh, that's not very good, but first try, whatever. You could get the idea, and with practice, I'm sure it would get better. I never say practice makes perfect.
Another thing she done too is dip it in ink. Get your ink pad, dip your thing in ink, and roll it, and it actually shows the ink.
Wait a minute. Roll this in ink?
Yes, and then roll it on your thing, and the ink, it makes the stitches the color of your ink.
I don't know if I can. Let's see if I have one that's that easily open. Yeah, so light. I can see if I have something a little bit darker right here so I don't have to get up. All right, here's one that might be a little darker and might have some ink in it. So maybe I'll do it on this. No, I'll just do it across this white sheet right here to see if we can see it. So just roll this thing in the ink, huh?
She rolled it in ink.
And then that's a cool idea. And just go right across here. Oh, look at that. Ha ha ha. All right, so I don't know. Maybe some of you have a trip to Joann's in your future today, if you like to make these little stitch.
I love stitches.
Yeah, I do too. So we can do it the cheap seat way. We don't have the dies. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to pass this over now to Stephanie because I can't wait to see how she did her card. And because we've already done, at one point we did the owl, and now she's going to show us how to change the owl into a cute little purse. So let me see, how do I stop my share, and then Stephanie should be able to take over control.
Right, do I press share now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right, let's look and see if I can get that to work. Right.
It's coming,
Is it
yeah. So, oh, look.
Has it come up?
Yes. That's beautiful.
I love it.
Okay, it's a really, really easy card to make.
Sure.
So this is, no, seriously, this is obviously the finished purse, and that's the inside. And these are the only pieces, apart from your print and cut little mirror and things you've got to make. These are the only pieces that you need to make the card. I did put that handle on there just to actually show it because I've used ribbon, but just to sort of show the finished thing. So we'll start now, if that's okay.
Yes.
I did make a few notes just to be on the safe side. So we'll start with a completely blank sheet. Yeah.
Yep. Blank sheet. Perfect.
Okay. So what we're going to do is go into the shapes first, because the card that I made, I don't know whether you say in America scallop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The card, mine was a card base that I bought, and it's scalloped at the front and straight at the back. So I thought I would do it exactly the same as the card that I've got, but you could actually scallop the whole lot. You could do it plain, but I don't think it's as nice without the scallop. So if we go into the shapes, and the third row from the bottom and the second one in, which is that one, and just drag that. And it doesn't really matter about this shape or the size at the moment. We're just going to sort of do that. And I'm pleased now because I'm like Nancy, since I did the update, I've got these up here, which I didn't use.
Yay, yes.
I didn't used to have it. It was a nuisance. Okay, so it's unlocked at the moment. So, oh, it's having a funny do. Wait a minute. We're going to do this 5 by 5. So it will be a 5 by 5 square. Once we've got that, we'll lock the ratio now, so it's going to stay exactly as it is. Okay. Because it's only going to be the front of the card and not the back, we're going to cut off this little bit here, because obviously it'll be scalloped around the sides there, but it'll be smooth where it's going to be welded to the back piece of the card. So knife, and thanks to you, Patty Ann, now I do hold down the shift key, and I've learned that you've got to keep hold of the shift key until you've actually finished, otherwise it shoots everywhere. So hold my shift key down and drag it across to take it off. Actually, I haven't taken enough off, so I'm going to go a bit further. So knife, shift key, drag it across, and hopefully now that's got rid of all that. Yeah, so we'll get rid of all those bits. Delete those. So this is the actual card front. Now we're going to go into the shapes and get the rectangle. Again, it doesn't really matter how big you do it just at the moment, because you're going to alter it here. And again, I'm going to alter this, and this is going to be 5.5 by 5.5. Enter. Right. Before I do this, you don't need to do this, but I do. I need to just have a duplicate of that for the minute. I need to bring this to the front so that I can really see where it is. So bring that one to the front, and it only needs to be just covering it, more or less like that. So then you're going to group the two together and come up here, and you're going to line it so it's central. This one there. need to move that down. I'm going to have to just move it down a bit because it's not quite far enough. Right, I'll redo that again. Group it, align it centrally. And while it's still highlighted, I'm going to weld it together. So now we've got a card that's got straight back and it's scalloped at the front. But we need to alter the size again now. Now the only thing is, anybody wanting to do it like this, you would have to alter it slightly, because I just checked. For us in the UK, A4 is what I use, and it's 11 3/4 inches long by 8 inches wide. When I looked, your I think is it letter, US letter, I think that's 11 by 8.5, so you might want to make it slightly shorter, but you can alter it anyway. But I'll do it how I did mine, then I know where I'm up to properly. Okay, so mine is 11 inches tall by 5.5. Okay, so in actual fact, that is the actual card blank. That is what it looks like when it's folded in half.
Yep.
And I'm going to change the colour to white because the card blanks are white. So that is it for the point of view for your actual card. And now we're going to download. So I'm obviously merge it rather than go into a different one. And I'm going to go now to my download and click on this. I'm going to bring the shape that we used for the owl. Right, again, it doesn't matter so much about the actual size just for now. We'll alter it in a minute. So it obviously needs tracing and detaching. So trace tool, select the trace area, highlight it. And when I actually did it, because it's a solid image and we need to sort of, get quite a decent trace on it, I found that if I went up to about 82, that gave me, for me, it gave me a good trace without jaggedy lines on it. So I'm quite happy at that. So I'll just have to move that out of the way only just for a minute. So now I'm going to trace and detach. Okay, so now that means we can get rid of that horrible little piece that was joined to it. And this first one is going to be 5 inches square. So alter this again and make it 5 inches. Right, I'm going to lock the ratio now because it's a square and I want it to stay like that. Again, I'm going to do an extra one. You can do if you want, just in case you mess it up and you've got another one and you don't have to start all the way from the beginning. So that's the actual base piece. And I think I'm going to change the colour of it now so it looks nice. Okay, and obviously I'm just using printed card, but just to get this, get the effect. I mean, you could use the prints on here and print it, but if you've got nice patterned card, I think that's the best thing. Okay, so that's going to be the piece that you're going to use on there. So we'll leave that there for now. And I'm going to change this to the same colour. So I need to highlight it on first. Okay, so you can see. This is, I only need to do that. It's just for effect, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So done that, and we can delete it. So that's the piece that would actually fit on the top of the card. Now I need to do another of these, and I'll reborrow this and do a duplicate and a second duplicate. No, I only need one. Okay, so this can go back there because that is going to be one of the pieces that you will use to cut your card. This one now, we're going to change this one and we're going to make this a 4-inch shape. 4 inches by 4 inches, and lock the ratio once it's there. So that's 4 inches, and I'm going to change the colour to that one. Have a nice lavender, maybe that colour. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And I will do a duplicate just so that I've got it so I can cut it. So that's going to be your other piece. So we've almost actually finished. Well, we've got some cutting to do, but from the point of view of what you're going to need apart from the inside piece, that is your card. So right, I'll get this knife tool and shift key down, delete that, and we'll get rid of that now. And this is the other piece that will go on top of the card when it's finished. That's how it'll look. That's down there as well. Right, now this bit, we're going to get the card back on here, and these two as well. Okay. And then we're going to highlight the whole lot, whole pieces. We're going to go into here and we're going to align them there and align so they're all aligned centrally as well. At that point now, all your cards are in exactly the same place for doing the actual little slit that you'll be able to thread your ribbon through. So just for the time being, so that I don't end up sending them all over the place, I'm going to group them together so I know I'm okay. Right, now to do the easiest way I found to do the slits, I mean, Tatiana, you might come out with something better, or Nancy or Tammy, but the easiest way I found to do it was to come in here, highlight it, and actually get the transparency tool and train it down so that I could really see the layers. And I lined it up so that where the little jutty piece is that's coming out there, you can actually see it. I need to just go a little bit more. Even better with a lighter colour. What I actually did, get it in line. I got a darker one near the little purple one, and if you can see there's ½ an inch. So I started my cut at the ½ inch mark on each side, and I went in about 3/4 of an inch, but it will really depend on what ribbon you know, the size of your ribbon. But I found that roughly didn't have to be exactly accurate, roughly 3/4 of an inch was enough. So hold the shift key down. You can see there is the ½ inch where I'm ½ inch marker. So I started and I just did it till it came to about, under about 6.72. Oh, now then, that's what I sometimes do. I forget. Let go of the shift key before I've done it. It's all right, I'll redo it again. I did that one day and I thought, why has it moved? And I forgot I'd moved the shift key before that's it, so it stayed straight. So that's one cut out. And then on the other side, exactly the same. You come into the half, if you look there, there's the ½ inch marker. So I did that, came to the ½ inch marker there, shift key, and grabbed it again to about 6.72. And that meant that I've got all the slits. And if I then get it all again and take the transparency off, I've done that, no I haven't done it. It all again. Oops. That's it, that's the transparency off. Now, when you move these away, hopefully, you've got the slit inside your card in exactly the right spot. So when you cut these out now, and you put them on top, they're in exactly the right spot.
Wow.
Ready for threading your ribbon through. So those are actually your pieces of your card. That, from that point, is your card done. So when you fold it in half, that's the card. When you fold these two in half, they lay over the top of the card like that, front and back.
Oh, cute.
So it goes over like that.
That's cute.
So that's that bit done. Right, then the next bit is you want the little pocket for inside. So what I did, I just got a rectangle and I made it 5.5 inches. I'll go up here.
I bet you are liking having that up there for your sizing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It was really hard work before because you do it and it would flick away out of the way.
Oh,
So it's, yeah, so it's really good now. So 5.5 and I did it 2 inches high. Okay. Right, now this bit, I do manually, I don't do on the machine. And the scoring as well. With the card, at half, obviously at the half point, you'd score it in the middle. I haven't got a silhouette, and Cricut I find doesn't score brilliantly, so I do it manually, and I'll use a scoreboard and a scoring tool.
sure.
Okay, so now this one, we've got it at 5.5 by 2 inches. And Patty Ann, you'll have to say how you do this because all I'm doing is just to show you because I don't know how to do a score thing on it. I'm just going to draw a line on here so you can actually see what it is that I've done. So it would be scored there at 1/2 inch. It would be scored exactly the same there at 1/2 inch. This time I'm only drawing a line on it, then you can see. Not being clever, knowing how to do the scoring for this. And at the bottom, whoops, that'll teach me. Not letting go of it when I shouldn't. Right. So that's that, and then. Oh, Stephanie.
Oh.
Right, I will keep my finger on that now this time. Definitely 3rd time lucky. Okay, so. Right, I've left my hand on that until it's finished. Right, so what you would do, you would score it 1/2 inch on each side and 1/2 inch at the bottom. And then, and I obviously do this with a pair of scissors, you would then get your knife.
Mm-hmm.
And you would cut out this little corner on both sides. Okay. And I'm hanging on to my shift key for dear life there. Okay. So that's that. Well, might not have gone far enough. I'll have to see. And again.
Looks good.
Oh, bother. Right. So you'd think once you'd done it once, you wouldn't do it again, wouldn't you? Okay. Get rid of that, don't we? Right. So that's actually what you would end up with. Mm-hmm. And this is for the pocket. So all you would do would be fold those in and fold that under. And what I do, I use red liner tape because it's quite strong. So I would put red liner tape on here, here and here, fold them in and then stick it onto the base of the card there. So when you've finished, you would end up with a rectangle like this that would be 4.5 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. And I mean, you could do it height tall if you wanted, but I found that that was okay for all the little things to fit inside. So when you've actually finished, that is what you would, that's what you'd have. You'd have a little pocket down there on the inside, which you would then, and I did the things about 2.5 inches, but I say you could really, oh, get rid of that. That's the markers from that. I did them about 2.5 inches tall, so I should lock the ratio for that, shouldn't I? You know. Start again. So they would actually fit inside your little inside your little pouch. And then just do the same for the brush and everything else. Merge. And get the mirror. I think I did that at 3 inches just to make a little bit taller mirror.
So I'm going to ask, while you're doing this, on the brush, did you have to do like an offset to it so it didn't cut around all of the little brush?
Do you know, I actually didn't come into Silhouette to do it. I did it in Cricut this time. All I did, I got the image, took it in, and then you know how you press that thing and you get the blue background, so you've just got the cut image.
Right.
And it cut it out perfectly. But what I did with all of them, I actually did a cut as well as a cut and print, so that I stuck extra card on the back, so that it made them
made
stronger.
It a little thicker. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll bring that to the front, and that really bring forward, or bring it to the front. Wait a minute. And that, apart from the other things that I've done, that was sort of it. Now, but there was one other thing. I'll go back to this and show you. So this is the finished thing. So it's like we've just done now. So those are actually all the parts you would need. So that's your card folded in half, the top 2 pieces that would go on the top of it when it's folded, and this little pocket there. But the actual, on my picture, the actual bow that I did, it is a die that I bought quite a few years ago. But what I did, I went on, so this is it, how it's finished. And I just put handles on just to show you how it was done. But what I did, I found the bow online, and that's the bow that I used.
Oh.
Now, I don't know. I did have a do at tracing it to see that if I could get sort of a decent image from it. And it looked okay, but I don't know whether it would cut properly. But what I thought, if anybody wanted me to do it, I could do, is actually to cut my bow out in black and scan it. And I'm wondering whether that would actually make an easier, I don't know if I coloured, whether that would make an easier way to colour it. I don't know. I'll just have a look and see. I did actually do the trace area and tried it. Just see. And it looked quite a decent trace, but I don't. It might do. And I just found it online. So
I love that.
And it is really quite pretty. But I bought it years ago, so. But it doesn't look as if it's too bad a trace, does it? There.
Good.
Looks good.
Right. So let's have a look if it's actually worked. Oh. I'll copy this one and now and we'll put it back in the one that we're working on. So just so that it looks the part. Right. I think it was a little bit bigger than that. Right, so if I just coloured it like that without tracing it, that's what you would get, but at least that would give you an idea, wouldn't it? So you'd have that folded like that, this glued onto here, that next one glued on. In actual fact, make it easy if I did that, wouldn't it, if I aligned it properly. Okay, so it would be like that. Oh no, I'm doing that centrally. I shouldn't. It should be. Right, should I align that at the top, Patty? I'm just going to look for curiosity. Should I do that as an align at the top so that it would line that up?
I would.
Right, let's have a look then, because I've not done that before. So let's have a see if that's, yeah. And then this could go on the top of it like that.
Oh, they're so cute.
And
I love that.
And it's a really, really quick, easy card to make. Really quick and easy.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I think
No,
I'll make one today.
seriously, honestly, it really is easy. But I'll give you all a tip.
Good.
What I found was the easiest way. Right, you've got the slits in there. I found the easiest way was to glue this onto that first before I glued it onto the card. So you're making sure you've got those in line. And then I took the two of those, which I joined together, and I laid them on top of the flat card. I actually didn't fold my card until I'd actually aligned those. I made sure I could align them, and then I scored it and folded it, then put it and scored those then and put them on the top then. Does that make sense?
Yes, but was the score line exactly where the slits are?
It's just fractionally, mine's literally in the top of it, so it is more or less where the score line is. Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. I scored over it there and then folded it, but these two had been actually attached together. I scored them lightly and then glued them and then gave them another good scoring when they were joined together. Then I scored that and glued them on the top of it. And for the ribbon, I actually pushed it. What I did, I got ribbon and I did it a thicker ribbon, and I stuck red tape between it and glued it so it made it stronger. And I glued it on the inside, but you could tighten a knot inside as well.
You don't have a camera on your...
Yes, I do, yeah.
Can you show us your actual card?
Let me have a look. How do I get out of this first?
Okay, yeah. I mean, finish up what you're doing. I just wanted to see the completed one.
No, right. How do I do, you know, I've got you down at the bottom. You can see this. How do I get that back where it belongs so that I can see my camera? Oh, right, wait a minute.
Stop her.
So I need to get this back.
So stop.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If I stop sharing, then will it work?
Try it.
Yeah.
Right, now then, let's have a look. Yeah, and I'll show you. So if I start the video now.
Yes.
There you are.
Am I on?
Yes.
Well, I can't see myself. I can see you. Can you see the card?
You need to raise
it
it a
up.
little higher.
Right, so do I need the camera higher, lower?
Lower.
No, not the purse. Bring your purse up, like up to your face. So there you go. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's cute.
And then all the little things are inside. Can you see those?
A little higher.
A little higher. Yeah, can you see?
Oh, yeah. That is so cute.
The little things inside. And yeah, and the strap. Can you see that? I've gone through the centre.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. I love it.
And I did make a mistake. It's scalloped at the front, plain at the back, and when I cut the bow, without not checking, I stuck it on the back, so it's got two bows on it.
Oh, that's cute.
And this one is quicker and easier even than that. That's a really quick, easy one, that one.
Oh, yeah. That's cute too.
So that one has little parts in it too?
Yeah, I've done a drill. And
Tammy was mentioning that. I didn't get a chance to see it yet today, but I was thinking, if I made the little purse of the granddaughter, what can I make for the spoiled little boy?
It's got a saw and a hammer. And that one is really easy because that is literally, that is just your A5 letter, just folded in half, and a little pouch put on the front, and then just the tools. And I used brads. I pierced a hole in and put brads to hold it together. So that's really, I would say that took me probably about an hour and a half to do. That's all, once I designed it.
Mary Kay wants to know what red tape is, Stephanie.
It's like I'll show you. Well, just before you turn that off. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's what they use. It's a sticky tape, but it's like a construction tape, what they use for doing boxes, or you know when you make models and that with crafting. I think it's one of the strongest tapes that you can buy. But when you use it, you really have to make absolutely sure that you are in line for where you're putting it, because once it sticks down, you know, sometimes you can move things, you've got a bit of wiggle room. You don't get wiggle room with this. Once it sticks, it sticks. So shall I stop sharing this video now?
You don't have to.
Right. So are we back on normal now?
Carmen said she got some of the red tape at Tuesday morning.
Right. I know originally when I bought it, it was quite expensive, and we have a market not far from us, and they've opened a great big craft stall, and they sell it much cheaper. But it is really, it's really good stuff. So I think I can get you back on normal screen, can I?
I think I got it.
Yeah, I've got you back on now.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
you
is
got it, yeah?
some that I had, but I bought this a long time ago. It was called embossing tape.
Yeah.
But it's the same stuff.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's really, really strong tape.
Right. But I've not really used it for a million years, so now I have a use for it.
Yeah, if you're going to make your little grandson a toolbox, then use that for sticking the little pouch on the front for him. Definitely.
Yes. Oh, cute. This is made in the USA. It's called embossing tape. This one is, but like I said, that's kind of old.
Yeah. But it is really, really, it is a really strong tape. You know, when you use ordinary double-sided tape, but this does really stick and it stays.
And the thing I was happy to find that I had this for was because you said that's how you put your ribbon on too.
Yes. I'll just show you now. Hold on a second.
Okay, I gotta stop my share and you can share.
Wait a minute, I'll just show you because
Diana says, is it double-sided?
yeah, it's double-sided tape.
Once you put one side down, you can peel off the other side.
Yeah. What I tend to do as well is, if I'm laying it on something, is just put it on and peel a little bit off, you know, till I get something in line.
Right.
Rather than, and I'll just show you this in a second. Because I do use it always for my ribbons to stick on, or anything that I want to really strong. You can get loads of different sizes, but I'll just show you this. Shall I share the video?
Yes, ma'am. And don't forget the other tip that Stephanie gave us about getting that ribbon, and you can color it with your markers. So just get white, and you can change it to any color you want. And
Roxana, is Roxana here today?
I haven't seen her.
She did send me a message. She did send me a message because she does message you when she asked me originally what I was using and where I got them from with the Nuvo drops. And she'd seen somebody, and I haven't done this before, but I thought that was a good idea. She'd seen somebody who'd actually got, it was either Nuvo drops or the stickles, something like that, just in the white, not clear, but in the white pearly colour. And she'd actually done them on a card. And then when they set, she'd coloured them with the marker pens, the same way that I do with my ribbon.
It's cool.
And I have got another couple of tips for you.
Are you going to share your screen too? Don't forget.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'll just show you the difference in the thickness of some of them I've got.
Roxanne had a Facebook post that she didn't get the meeting email, But I wish she had gone to, don't forget, you guys, if you ever don't get the meeting email, go to Patreon because the post is there with the meeting information.
Can you see how thin that one is? Whoops.
Nope. You got to hold up stuff right by your face.
Right. Right. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes.
The really thin one, that's usually the one that I use for the ribbon. Or, you know, when you've done the leather, that would have stuck that really well. It's really strong. So I do such a lots of different thicknesses. Yeah.
Cool.
Another tip, you use your glue gun.
Yes, we lost your video. We lost your video.
Oh, right. Well, no, I've turned it off now because I'm back on with you.
Okay.
Another tip, if you use a glue gun, I thought about you, it does take a little bit of practice, but I have, we have the cutting mats that you've got under there. I have a glass cutting mat. I don't know whether you have that or not.
Mm-mm.
because they're quite good when you were using that roller. That would be good because it doesn't cut into anything. Um, and what you can do is when you get your glue hot, is squeeze it and make it into like blobs. It takes a little bit of getting used to till you get a sort of rounded shape. While it's still wet glue, if you sprinkle little sequiny things or glitter or things on like that and let it dry on the glass mat, then the day after you can flick them off because it doesn't stick to it. And they're like little embellishments for cards and
My
things.
gosh. Did y'all
just
get that? That is interesting. So you're making a little daub of glue, hot glue, and
Yeah,
it's making your sparkles or whatever, glitter or anything.
while it's still wet and hot, yeah. Put glitter or sparkles or whatever what you want to put on it, and then you just leave it. I mean, if you haven't got a glass mat, you could use a plate,
Right. Oh, yeah.
something that's non-porous,
Right.
and then make a glue dot. And it takes a bit of practice. What I end up doing with it is when I'm actually doing it, I then twist the glue gun round to stop the drop, to stop the rest of it trailing off. And then if you've got little sequins, glitter, anything like that to stick into it that you want to stick into it, let it dry, and the day after it will just ping off, and then you can glue it to something.
And do you hot glue it or what?
No, very often I use the little glue dots you can buy.
Yes.
Or I've even used pieces of this red liner tape, just cut it small enough to fit underneath it.
Okay, so people are saying they've gotten the glass cutting mat from Tuesday morning, and Nancy just said, or just get a piece of glass from the hardware store and put some tape around the edges so you don't cut yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Or as I say, even a plate or something
yes,
like that.
right.
Something like that.
And
Because
another alternative would be plexiglass. It's relatively cheap, and you can get it at a glass store too. And just tell them you want plexiglass. That way you don't have to worry about every breaking. It's called plexiglass.
right. No, there's lots of things. So
Wow.
I hope that's been a help.
It's been fabulous, really helpful. I so appreciate it. And I can't wait to make the purse today. Actually, I better make both things today.
Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't take long.
Okay. I'm counting on you.
No, it is really easy. And to say the toolbox, you literally folding the card in half, and then I just punched holes in. Well, obviously put some more card on to make it pretty, but the toolbox, and use that red liner tape to stick it to, and then you'll be able to play with it, and it won't come undone.
Do you remember where you got the tools?
No, every time I go online, I went on Google. I can send them if you want, but I went on Google and I just put in cute clip art tools.
Okay, cute. Good idea.
But if you want, I'll send the ones that I've done to you. I'll mail them to you.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And with the makeup as well, that's all I did. I just went and looked through. I always look for cute images, and then they tend to come up.
Cute.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll mail them to you, and then you can get busy and make a little toolbox for him.
Great. All right. Does anybody have any final questions for Stephanie? I'm wanting to champ at the bit to get off of here and get started.
That was an awesome job, Stephanie. Yeah. I love it. All your tips.
Yes.
Oh, I'm pleased. I'm pleased you like it. After our class is finished, my husband, I don't know whether Tammy told you, Patty, but my husband's dog sitting for our son he went on Wednesday, and he's coming home tomorrow, and I'm going tonight. And he said, "Are you not coming?" And I said, "No, I've got too many cards to make." So no, he doesn't mind because he loves taking the dog for a walk, and I can't walk as far as them anyway. So,
there you go.
So that's where I'm going after. So I shall be watching out to see your card when you've done it.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And I hope you're feeling better soon as well.
Yes, my leg was starting to bother me here. I think that's why my brain just went. But anyway,
bless.
Okay, it's cool. So, okay. Well, if nobody else has any other questions, we'll stop this meeting right now. And then if you have any questions, don't forget to put them on our Facebook group, the private one. Carmen, you're there now, right? I think, didn't Carmen join?
No, she joined either Cricut Design Space or Cutting Up, but I'm going to send her the link for the
The private
Facebook.
one. Yeah.
So if you edit this out, we can say it, huh? You're
Sure.
gonna edit the last
Yeah,
part where we
sure.
just
Yeah, I'm going to edit a lot of it out, especially me.
okay. Carmen, the name of the Facebook group is Silhouette Software with Patty Ann.
I don't know. I've changed it so much, I drive myself nuts. Nancy, that's another one of my issues, right? Let's see. Let me look right quick.
That's sad. I go there constantly, but I can't
No,
remember.
I don't, but we don't have to remember anything. We just click on pictures. Silhouette Studio with Patty Ann, maybe. But I'm
Yeah,
not
that's it.
sure. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, it's Silhouette Studio with Patty Ann. That's it.
Yeah.
If you just type that in Facebook, it'll bring you there. And you don't have to answer the questions because we know it's you, and we'll zap you right in there with us.
Nancy, I'm just seeing now that you sent a question or 5 hours ago. Tammy and I whine about this all the time because we don't see the things that come up on Facebook very quickly. Sometimes not at all, just coincidentally we see them. But I see you had a question about the registration marks for the Cameo. So I'll have to read this through and see. Looks like, and this is the first time I've seen it, so I'll be anxious to see what you have to say and what's happening. So anyway, if no one answers you right away, don't think that we're just ignoring anybody, because sometimes this stuff just doesn't show up.
And Tina had a post on there, and it just disappeared. We can't find it.
I just noticed she has it back again up there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Facebook's weird.
Yeah, it's acting crazy. I hate that because I found a post from I think it was Stephanie had a card a few days ago, and I'm just now seeing it. It's crazy. I hate it.
All right.
I sent him a message. Oh yeah, I love the stitches.
Let me know if you guys try this. Those of you who like the stitching, I think the stitching just adds a lot. And like Tammy was saying, May even took her ink pad, I think, and colored this, and that made those stitching marks show up even more when she used the pad. I tried it with these little tiny ones, and it didn't work very well because I was making big blobby junk messes on there, but she's done that. So, all righty, I guess that's it. Thank you all for coming. I can't wait to see what everybody starts working on today.
You can actually score with that thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sure, look. It makes a good score. Very good. Huh. Okay. Thank you guys.
All righty.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.